Aloha and bonjour, and welcome back to the Aloha Indian channel. I'm Open Door, you can call me OD. Okay, creative cleaners, we're back with two builds this time. There's your traditional vanilla melee build, which I will lay out here. This is the Luddite loadout, I like to call it. And it's your typical nightmare horde clearing melee deck. You've seen a million variations of it. I'm not going to describe every single card, but basically you have your melee speed, and we've got Battle Lust and Vanguard and EMT rebuilding our health. You run around, you hide behind doors, you swing basically through the whole level. It's easy, it's fun. It's probably not the most efficient. It does make me feel like the crazy uncle at the end of DeadAlive, though, when he's just hacking away. I've been having a lot more fun with this, my Weapon X build, aka Big Game Hunter build. So with this, we're going to be a lot more dynamic. We're going to be out there hunting mutations and chopping them down before they can get to our team. We're going to start with Experimental Stun Gun, which enhances our bash to stun nearby enemies, and it recharges after 10 seconds. Your plain old bash, your fist to clear out, turns into a thunder punch that creates an electric area of effect that will stun commons and specials. You run up, you stun the tall boy, 1-2 hits, they're done. We're going to pair that with my two new favorite movement cards, which is Cross Trainers and Fleet of Foot. Instead of taking Run Like Hell, where we have the plus 12 move speed that we lose if we get hit, between Cross Trainers and Fleet of Foot, we have plus 3 move speed here, plus 8 here. That's plus 11 that we never lose. Sure, we don't have the extra sprint speed, but we're not sprinting all that much. We also have plus 20 stamina regen and plus 20% stamina capacity. After those, we're going to take Meth Head. And not for the 5% melee speed or 5% melee stamina efficiency. We're taking it for the melee attacks no longer stick in tough enemies. We want to be able to cleave and chop through multiple tall boys. We're going to be stunning 2 or 3 specials at a time. After that, we're going to take Slugger. This may seem redundant with Meth Head, but again, we're not taking Meth Head for the speed. We want Slugger for the efficiency and the melee attack speed. And again, that plus 5 health, that's adding up. We're already at plus 10 health. Now the next 6 cards are our stopping power. It's all DPS. Glass Cannon. I am building all my decks around Glass Cannon now because, especially for No Hope, damage is so hard to build, and this increases your damage across the board, not just to melee, not just to firearms. Killer Instinct. We took Killer Instinct instead of Hyper Focused because Hyper Focused has that movement speed penalty. So we're going to stick with Killer Instinct here. Spiky Bits, plus 15 flat melee damage and plus 20% melee damage resistance while using a melee weapon. With Mean Drunk, we get 40% melee damage. So we're getting into multipliers. Plus, Mean Drunk gives us cleave through enemies. Sunder. Melee hits cause the target to take 3% increased damage to a maximum of 15% increased damage. Now, we're usually going to be taking things down in 2 or 3 hits, but this is another multiplicative category. All of these are different multipliers, so they are combining to really make us punch hard. Ignore the Pain. Again, another separate multiplier, 20% melee damage against mutations. It also gives us 1 health and 3 stamina when we deal damage to a mutation. We're not going to be relying on that, but it's always a nice little bonus. After that, Heavy Hitter. We love that. In case there's something where your stun gun is recharging or somehow you took damage and it's broken for a moment, Heavy Hitter is always your backup. Now, you can expect to tank a hit or 2 every once in a while with this, so we're going to bring Motorcycle Helmet for the 15% damage resistance and plus 10 health. So that's plus 20 health. That sets off most of the health we lose from Glass Cannon. Then Quick Kill, I added this because when I ran this through Nightmare, I noticed I was shooting a lot. You are going to be firing a lot. You're going to be covering the perimeter. You can't use a sniper rifle because your stun gun uses sniper rifle ammo, so you'll mainly be using shotguns or ARs. SMGs probably won't have the DPS we need in No Hope. And then finally, Copper Scav. I took out Bounty Hunter because, honestly, I'm sick of that little 10 copper popping up in the middle of my screen all the time. Just a quick update from the editing bay. After deliberating with my frequent teammate Doll, I've decided to change my economy card recommendation from Copper Scav to Share the Wealth, mainly because I like to emphasize what happens when the whole team stacks a card. In this case, if everybody stacks Share the Wealth, at the beginning of every safe room, you'll have 1,600 copper to share between you, which is more than enough to buy a full upgrade. Also, if you only have one, that's enough for you to buy a toolkit and not have to ask anybody else for copper. Sure, on average, Bounty Hunter will earn more, but that's counting on doing loads of tunnels. And the early tunnels have been nerfed so that the chests don't have very good loot in them. So early tunnels should be skipped. And really, how many tunnels are you doing in a run? I think 1 or 2 tunnels per act is plenty at this point. And according to the number crunchers on my favorite squad, Copper Scav has diminishing returns if you take more than 1. So 1 is plenty for the team. There is my Weapon X Big Game Hunter build. I hope it gives you some ideas for your builds and maybe encourages you to change up your playstyle a little bit. Aloha, miigwech, mahalo, stay safe, stay tuned.
Back when you still had any.
So clutch.
It's all Shreefs then. It's Shreefs party time.
Yep.
So that's you and the bots. I'm not shooting.
Nice. Okay. You do not get the second heavy hitter stumble. Thought about naming this my Hodor deck.